Hello, and welcome back to Senior Health Secrets, your trusted resource for staying strong, independent, and pain-free as you embrace life's second act. If you're watching this, chances are you know the feeling. You're finally settled into a deep, comforting sleep. The house is quiet, and then, without warning, a jolt of searing pain locks up your calf or your foot. That dreaded, agonizing Charley horse, the nighttime leg cramp. Now, stop right there. Before we go any further, let me challenge the biggest myth about this problem. Most people, maybe even you, think leg cramps are just a normal, inevitable part of getting older. You figure it's just wear and tear, or the body finally breaking down. But I'm here to tell you something truly empowering. They are not a normal part of healthy aging. Age isn't the villain here. The truth is, these painful spasms are almost always your body's direct cry for help, signaling that something small in your daily routine, something you do every single day without thinking, is throwing your delicate muscular and nervous systems out of balance. In this video, we are going deep. You'll discover 7 surprisingly simple, everyday habits that quietly steal strength from your legs, drain your essential minerals, and trigger those painful midnight wake-up calls. We're not talking about expensive pills or complicated procedures. We're talking about awareness and gentle habit change. Understanding why these cramps happen is the first step towards stopping them. Think of your muscles as sophisticated, powerful rubber bands. They need the right fuel, the right environment, and the right amount of rest to function smoothly. When you contract a muscle, it uses electrical signals, or electrolytes, to power that movement. When you relax it, it requires other electrolytes to let go completely. If those signals are fuzzy, the muscle can misfire, leading to a sudden, painful, uncontrolled spasm. For seniors, this imbalance is often exacerbated by subtle issues. Things like mild dehydration that goes unnoticed, poor circulation from sitting too long, or dietary choices that unintentionally strip your body of essential minerals. Take Mr. Allen, for example. Mr. Allen is 70 years old, a retired shop teacher living in Florida. Every single night, he was plagued by cramps. He thought, well, I'm 70. This is just my cross to bear. He even started taking over-the-counter pain relievers, sometimes just to cope with the residual soreness the next morning. But when we looked closer at his habits, the answer wasn't in his age. It was in his routine. We discovered that he was inadvertently creating the perfect storm for cramps. By examining these habits, we helped Mr. Allen, and countless others, reclaim their peaceful nights. And today, we are going to look at those 7 habits one by one. Habit number 1, the dehydration default, not sipping consistently. This is perhaps the most common and easiest habit to correct. We often don't feel thirsty until we are already significantly dehydrated. Think of water as the fluid that carries all those vital electrolytes: sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium. When you are mildly dehydrated, those minerals become overly concentrated, or the pathways they travel become sluggish. This concentration makes your nerve endings hypersensitive and irritable, dramatically increasing the chance of a muscle misfire while you sleep. Mrs. Linda, a vivacious 68-year-old living in the dry climate of Arizona, was the queen of multitasking. She would get so wrapped up in her gardening, her volunteer work, or reading that she would completely forget to drink anything for hours. She'd drink a large glass of water with dinner, thinking she was caught up, but that sudden influx wasn't enough to compensate for hours of depletion. She suffered nearly nightly with cramps in her hamstrings. The solution wasn't complicated. It was consistency. We encouraged Linda to start sipping. Instead of aiming for huge glasses, she kept a small, attractive water bottle right beside her at all times, and aimed to empty it 3 or 4 times throughout the day, always keeping water in sight. A study highlighted in the Journal of Clinical Physiology suggests that adequate fluid balance is paramount for stabilizing nerve signals. When fluid volume drops, especially in the evening, the resulting electrolyte imbalance can trigger nocturnal muscle activity, leading straight to a cramp. Don't wait for thirst. Sip water, unsweetened herbal tea, or naturally flavored water steadily throughout the day. Try to finish your last large drink about 2 hours before bed, to avoid nighttime bathroom trips, but keep a small glass nearby for sips if you wake up dry. Water-rich fruits like melon or berries also count toward your daily fluid intake. Have you noticed cramps when you know you've forgotten to drink enough water? Type 1 if yes, or 0 if this is a new idea for you. We read every comment. Habit number 2, the circulation lockdown, sitting for too long. We all enjoy relaxing, especially after a long life of working hard. But our modern lives often involve long, uninterrupted periods of sitting, in front of the television, reading a book, or even driving. When you sit still for extended periods, blood flow, particularly to your lower legs, slows down significantly. This poor circulation allows metabolic waste products, such as lactic acid, to accumulate in the muscles. Furthermore, the muscles stay in a shortened resting position for too long. When you finally stand up, or more importantly, when you shift position in bed, the lack of sufficient fresh oxygenated blood and the presence of accumulated waste can cause the muscle to seize up in protest. Mr. Robert, 72, was a retired accountant who loved his sedentary hobbies, crosswords and binge-watching historical documentaries. He could easily sit in his favorite armchair for 4 hours straight. His cramps were specifically located in his calves, and they were the most painful right as he would stretch out his legs after the sitting session, or shortly after getting into bed. We didn't ask Robert to become a marathon runner. We asked him to implement the 2-minute rule. Every time a commercial break came on, or every time he finished a chapter in his book, he had to stand up, march in place for 30 seconds, and do simple ankle rotations. Research published in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity confirms that even brief bouts of light movement significantly improve lower extremity circulation and reduce venous pooling, that uncomfortable sluggishness that happens when blood settles in the lower body. Breaking up sedentary time is powerful medicine. Use visual cues. Set a gentle timer on your phone for 45 minutes, or use commercial breaks as your trigger. Stand up, walk to the mailbox, or simply do some heel raises and ankle pumps at your chair. Keep the circulation moving. Do you find yourself sitting for 2 hours or more without moving? Tell us what quick movement trick you plan to use this week. Share your ideas below. Habit number 3, the nutrient gap, skipping magnesium and potassium power. Your body runs on minerals. If dehydration is the delivery problem, then nutrient deficiency is the fuel problem. 2 minerals are absolutely critical for muscle health: magnesium and potassium. Potassium helps initiate the muscle contraction. Magnesium, often called nature's relaxant, is crucial for allowing the muscle fibers to fully release and relax after they have contracted. If you are low on magnesium, the muscle tends to stay slightly tense, leading to an overexcitability that culminates in a cramp. Miss Eleanor, 75, was a fiercely independent woman but a very picky eater. She favored white bread, simple meats, and sugary cereal. She avoided anything green or too high in fiber because she worried about digestive discomfort. Her diet was critically low in green leafy vegetables, beans, and nuts, the primary sources of magnesium. Her constant cramps felt like her muscles were tightening into knots and refusing to let go. We didn't overhaul Eleanor's entire diet overnight. We started small. She added a few spoons of black beans to her chili and switched her evening snack to a small handful of almonds. She also began mixing a natural powdered magnesium supplement, not a laxative form, into her evening herbal tea. Within 2 weeks, her cramp frequency dropped by half. A landmark review in the American Journal of Medicine strongly links low levels of serum magnesium and potassium to increased risk of nocturnal leg cramps. They act synergistically. Potassium manages the action, and magnesium manages the rest. Ensuring adequate intake, especially in seniors whose nutrient absorption might be less efficient, is essential. Prioritize magnesium-rich foods in your dinner: dark leafy greens, spinach, kale, pumpkin seeds, almonds, and avocados. For potassium, include bananas, sweet potatoes, and dried apricots. If you consider a supplement, always discuss the dosage and type with your primary care provider. Which mineral do you think you need more of right now? Magnesium or potassium? Type the name in the comments. Habit number 4. Evening stimulation overload: late caffeine, sugar, or alcohol. Many people love a routine evening indulgence: a piece of chocolate cake, a strong cup of decaf coffee, which still contains caffeine, or a glass of wine to unwind. Unfortunately, timing is everything when it comes to muscle balance and sleep quality. All three of these substances, alcohol, caffeine, and high sugar, can act as irritants or diuretics. Alcohol. While it might make you feel sleepy initially, alcohol disrupts the deepest stages of sleep. More importantly, it is a potent diuretic, meaning it makes you urinate more, leading directly back to habit 1, dehydration. This dehydration peaks overnight, right when cramps love to strike. Caffeine or sugar. These are stimulants that can cause nerve excitability. Too much close to bedtime can keep the nerves on edge, making the muscle more reactive to spasms during the quiet, restorative phase of sleep. Mr. David, 65, was very health conscious, but he had one major blind spot. He loved his nightly ritual of a massive, heavily sweetened iced tea at 7:30 p.m. while watching the evening news. He thought this habit was harmless. His cramps were frequent and often started right when he drifted off to sleep. We asked David to switch his evening drink from iced tea to plain water or warm non-caffeinated herbal tea immediately after dinner, cutting off all caffeine and high sugar intake by 5 p.m. The change was remarkable. His deep sleep improved and the cramps vanished, confirming that the stimulation and subsequent mild dehydration were the triggers. Studies related to nocturnal leg cramps and sleep quality, often cited in the Sleep Medicine Reviews journal, show that substances that disrupt REM sleep and fluid balance, like alcohol, or increase nerve excitability, like late-day caffeine, are strongly associated with higher frequency of cramps. Implement a 5 p.m. stimulant curfew. Cut off all caffeine, alcohol, and high-sugar treats after 5 p.m. Replace them with gentle, calming, hydrating activities or drinks. If you stop drinking coffee or alcohol earlier, do you notice a difference in your sleep or cramps? Tell us your experience. Number 5. The physical strain: wearing worn-out or unsupportive footwear. This might seem trivial, but what you wear on your feet, even just around the house, has a profound impact on your leg and calf muscles. If you walk around all day in flat, unsupportive slippers or shoes that are worn down unevenly, you are putting undue stress on the muscles and tendons of your foot, calf, and lower leg. Lack of arch support forces the calf muscles, the gastroc and soleus, to work harder simply to keep you balanced and upright. This constant, uncorrected strain causes muscle fatigue and shortening. When you finally take off the shoes and relax in bed, those tired, shortened muscles are primed and ready to seize up. Mrs. Carroll, 78, had a beloved pair of flat, soft, fuzzy slippers that she wore from the moment she woke up until she went to bed. They were comfortable but offered zero support. Her cramps started in her feet and traveled up into her calves. She couldn't understand why she felt better walking barefoot outside than walking in her comfy slippers inside. The answer was the lack of support. We advised Carol to invest in a pair of house shoes or sandals that had genuine arch support and cushioning, similar to a good walking shoe. Within days, the persistent tension in her calves, which often preceded the cramps, began to ease. Podiatric research consistently shows that proper biomechanical support is essential for minimizing strain on the posterior leg muscles. Muscles that are stabilized by proper footwear are less likely to fatigue and enter a spastic state when at rest, especially for seniors whose ligaments and tendons may be less elastic. Check your house shoes. If they are flat, flimsy, or look like they belong in a museum, replace them. Invest in supportive indoor footwear that keeps your arches lifted and your muscles properly aligned, even when you're just pottering around the kitchen. How old are your current house shoes? Be honest. Let us know if you plan to upgrade them soon. Habit number 6, the muscle tightness trap. Many seniors remain very active, engaging in wonderful hobbies like gardening, long walks, golfing, or swimming. This activity is fantastic for longevity, but the transition from activity to rest must be handled carefully. When you use a muscle vigorously, say during an hour of intense weeding or a long walk, the muscle fibers shorten and tighten. A proper cool-down stretch helps those fibers lengthen back out, flush out metabolic byproducts, and restore healthy resting tension. If you stop activity abruptly and immediately collapse onto the sofa, the muscles remain shortened and taut, making them much more susceptible to involuntary contractions hours later during the deepest phase of sleep. Mr. James, 69, was a dedicated gardener. He would spend hours bending, lifting, and squatting, working his leg muscles intensely. But as soon as the sun went down, he dropped his tools and immediately sat down to eat dinner, ignoring any cool-down. His cramps were fiercely painful, centered in his calves and quads, and usually happened between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. We introduced the 5-minute post-activity ritual. Before sitting down, James simply had to spend 5 minutes stretching his hamstrings, quadriceps, and most importantly, his calves against a wall or step. This ritual took less time than boiling a kettle, but it allowed his muscles to gently release the tension accumulated during the day. Sports physiology confirms the necessity of static stretching post-workout to reduce delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, and improve muscle elasticity. For nocturnal cramps specifically, consistent gentle stretching, particularly the calf muscles, has been shown in various physical therapy studies to reduce both the frequency and severity of spasms. Always cool down. If you walk, walk slower for the last 5 minutes. If you garden, finish with 5 minutes of slow, deliberate stretches, holding each stretch for 30 seconds. Focus on the muscles you worked hard, particularly the calves and the back of the thighs. Do you currently stretch after exercise or physical activity? Type yes or no below. Habit 7. The hidden medication factor. Unnoticed electrolyte depletion. This habit is less about what you do and more about what you know. As we age, managing chronic conditions often requires medication, and many common prescriptions, while essential for health, can subtly affect the electrolyte balance in your body. Certain medications, especially diuretics, often prescribed for high blood pressure or heart failure, are designed to help your body eliminate excess water and sodium. While necessary, they can sometimes cause collateral loss of vital minerals, like potassium and magnesium, leading to the electrolyte imbalance that triggers cramps. Other medications, even some cholesterol-lowering drugs, can occasionally cause muscle irritation. Mrs. Barbara, 71, had been cramp-free for years. Suddenly, after her doctor adjusted her blood pressure medication to include a diuretic, she began experiencing persistent foot cramps. She never connected the cramps to the medication because she assumed the doctor would have mentioned all side effects. The solution was not to stop the medication, never stop medication without professional guidance, but to open a conversation with her physician. Her doctor confirmed the potential link and suggested safely increasing her dietary intake of potassium and magnesium, or perhaps switching to a potassium-sparing version of the medication. This small adjustment, based on shared awareness, completely solved her cramp problem while maintaining her cardiovascular health. Research focusing on iatrogenic causes of leg cramps, those caused by medical treatment, consistently points to diuretics and beta agonists as potential culprits due to their effect on fluid and electrolyte management. Awareness is key. Your body chemistry changes, and your medication needs change with it. If you notice a sudden increase in cramps following a medication change or dosage adjustment, make an appointment to discuss it with your doctor or pharmacist. They may be able to suggest dietary compensation or a medication alternative that is easier on your muscles. Have you ever discussed a potential side effect like leg cramps with your doctor? Share your experience in the comments. You might help someone else. We have covered a lot of ground today, from the importance of steady sipping to the role of the humble magnesium atom. And the underlying message in all 7 of these habits is one of hope and control. Nighttime leg cramps are not a life sentence handed down by the calendar. They are simply your body's unique, sometimes painful, way of communicating that a small part of your routine is out of alignment. Remember Mr. Allen, Mr. Robert, and Miss Eleanor? They were all able to achieve peaceful, uninterrupted sleep simply by paying attention to these hidden habits. They proved that awareness is the greatest tool we have for staying strong and independent. Don't see cramps as a punishment of aging. See them instead as your body's powerful whisper for care, asking you to drink a little more, move a little more, or eat a few more nutritious greens. Small changes practiced consistently can bring about peaceful, uninterrupted nights. You have the power to take back your sleep, and you deserve a life free from pain. If you found value in these science-backed secrets and want more practical, gentle strategies for stronger legs, deeper sleep, and lasting independence, please do 2 things right now. Hit that like button. It helps us reach more seniors who need this vital information. More importantly, subscribe to Senior Health Secrets. We are dedicated to delivering research-backed, easy-to-implement wisdom right to your screen every week. Thank you for trusting us with your health journey. Take care of those legs and sleep soundly tonight. We'll see you in the next video.